chasing a high-flying hunter in the Pacific, a mammoth mako shark.
Going away? Man.
Oh, yeah, he's right there. He's chasing us.
Hang on.
Wrangling a silver king on the fly, a titanic leaping tarpon.
All right, are we ready?
Hitting a shark-infested reef to tag the ultimate underwater flying monster, a massive manta ray.
It's just like putting a very sharp knife into butter.
And a deadly showdown. A life-or-death clash of man versus black marlin, impaling a young angler's head.
Oh my God!
I didn't know if he was going to live.
In the name of science and sport, it's the most extreme encounters of man versus fish. On Hooked, Flying Monsters. Leaping out of our rivers and oceans, they're the ultimate deadly daredevils. To kill or fight for their own survival, these amazing aerial acrobats take to the skies. And on the hunt or on the run, when these phenomenal fish fly, they defy gravity. How do they become top guns? In astounding encounters face to face, we uncover the secrets of these flying whoppers.
When we look at the body of a fish, we see a body shape that is highly streamlined, the same way that an airplane is streamlined. What is good in water is also very good for movement in air.
Add a lethal weapon to the daredevil design, and you've got airborne alpha predators. In some battles of man versus fearsome flying fish, a leaping beast can push the fight to the killer edge, taking human flesh, risking an angler's life. Peñas Bay, Panama, July 7th, 2005. Bob Schultz is an international sport fisherman, but this South American trip is special. His children, Stephen and Allison, are along for the ride.
This is lovely. Here's my dad taking the photo.
I wanted to get both of them down there to just spend 8 hours a day with me in a boat and not have any place else to go.
Say hello.
No phones, no cell phones, no TVs, just dad time.
You'll say hello.
Bob's hope is to pass along his passion for pulling in monster fish, especially one of the most coveted of all, black marlin, known in this fishing mecca as His Majesty.
They're powerful jumpers, leapers. They really put on a show.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, I'll catch a big one. Are you going to stay in the chair?
Meet their target, black marlin. In an ocean battleground, these hunters attack prey with aeronautical speed and a brutal, jutting javelin.
They have that bill, and that bill is extremely sharp, and various billfish have actually been known to puncture the hulls of wooden boats.
Record-setting marlins stretch over 4 meters, weighing in at almost 700 kilos. Yet their super size doesn't slow them down. These cruising commandos hunt like radar-guided missiles, hitting speeds nearly 130 kilometers an hour. Pouncing on prey at the water's surface, behemoth body muscle and kinetic energy send them soaring straight out of the water.
So marlin can jump about 10 feet out of the water, and that's pretty remarkable when you consider the size of the animal. These are very big fish, and so to actually develop enough thrust to drive themselves out of the water to such a height is a fairly great accomplishment.
And once they're flying, marlin can keep going. Seen from the surface, these bounding beasts look like they're skimming along the ocean, a spectacle known as greyhounding. And above or below the water, the black marlin is always poised for an attack, with a little help from these. It's estimated black marlin bills can stretch nearly a full meter. Yet incredibly, their bills are actually upper jaws that jut out like flesh-stabbing swords.
It's actually its upper jaw that forms this large sword or bill on the front.
For someone who's trying to bring a marlin in, it's important to actually get a handle on that bill, to control that, keep it from flailing around and potentially being impaled by it.
For any angler, taking on a black marlin is a serious test of skill that can take a turn for the terrifying.
Marlin look like pure muscle. They're just really thickly built fish. They fight back. You can't almost hold on to the rod sometimes because they're so strong.
Now back in the boat, the Schultz family has no way of knowing their fishing trip is about to turn into a nightmare. Nearly 50 kilometers out to sea, the crew sets bait and casts into the ocean. Allison documents the trip on her video camera.
Oh, you getting some pictures?
Yeah, I'm getting all of it on video.
At first, no one's having any luck.
You ate the bait.
Then suddenly, Steven's rod starts singing. He's got something strong. Steven grabs hold and starts fighting. But as he struggles to keep control, the pull is intense, more powerful than anything he's ever felt.
I knew it was the biggest fish I had caught thus far in my life. Even catching sailfish wasn't like that. It was just pulling so differently and so hard.
In a flash, the fish makes a giant leap out of the water. It's a monster black marlin, soaring like a missile.
The first jump was awesome because I'd never seen a fish that big in real life. And I was kind of shocked and awed by it, and really intimidated by the size of it because I was afraid that that's what I was going to be reeling in.
And I saw the thing completely clear the water, and it was humongous.
Steven braces himself for an epic battle. Mammoth marlin will fight to the death.
You have to pace yourself to fight the fish for that long. I was ready to just, use every muscle in my body.
But after an exhausting 30 minutes, Steven's arms are burning with fatigue. Trying to stay focused, he has no idea what's going on underwater.
We hadn't seen the fish in 15 minutes, so we didn't know exactly where it was or how far away it was.
Feeling a sharp tug on the line, Steven senses the marlin is agitated below. He and Bob scan the water, anxious to see the beast's next move. In an instant, the fish bursts from the water, right next to the boat. Even as Steven fights to stay hooked, the family's thrilled to see His Majesty, the black marlin, up close. The incredible animal dives back down and once again takes a giant leap. But something's very wrong. In a sickening split second, it's clear the marlin is flying straight at Steven. Trapped moments from impact, time seems to stand still.
When the fish was coming in the boat, I realized that it was going to hit me, and I just didn't really give myself any time to react because I didn't think it was real.
I don't think it was an errant jump. They're apex predators. Nobody messes with them, This fish got messed with, and I think it just said, "We're gonna get you."
Oh my God, oh my God.
The thrashing marlin's huge, an estimated 2.5 meters long and a whopping 270 kilos, big enough to do lethal damage to Steven's head. It flies head on, stabbing Steven in the face with its bill.
I woke up on the deck of the boat, and I was getting pulled into the corner, and the mates rushed over, cut the line.
As the crew cuts the line, Bob rushes to his son.
I didn't know if he was going to live. He was screaming in pain. I grabbed a towel and I shoved the towel on his face. And I honestly couldn't look at that point.
And the situation gets worse. The boat isn't equipped with emergency supplies. Trapped at sea, hours from civilization, Bob does his best to keep his son calm as the ship races back to shore. But with each passing second, Stephen Schultz is on borrowed time. Back on land, Stephen's flown to a hospital in Panama City. All told, it's been 5 hours since the Marlin strike, and Stephen's ordeal is far from over. X-rays reveal 4 broken facial bones. Deep lacerations cut through the angler's mouth and throat. And now there's an even deadlier risk: infection. Marlin bills are covered in bacteria. Stephen's doctors administer Cipro, an antibiotic so powerful it's used to fight anthrax.
The Marlin's bill went in my mouth, hit me in the back of the throat, came across my wisdom tooth scars that had just gotten removed, and tore up the upper part of my cheek, and then cut my cheek on the way out. It took about a month and a half for me to heal completely.
That's all I'm thinking about.
Though Stephen made a full recovery, some wounds take longer to heal.
Stephen was very close to being killed that day.
Oh my God!
I can tell you that for the first couple of years, I thought about it every day. Every day.
Today, father and son hold no grudge against the marlin. They continue to enjoy fishing trips around the world, though they take a few more precautions, especially around large billfish.
I think we both have a newfound respect for marlin and what they're capable of. Our fishing experience has always been a good bonding time for us, and nothing's really changed, just we're a little bit more cautious when the fish get close.
Deep in another flying fish destination, an angler's ready to take on an epic battle of fishermen versus airborne beast. Puerto Real Bay, Puerto Rico, January 6, 2007. Greg Gibson's a globe-trotting fly fisherman. He's chased everything from northern pike in Manitoba to bonefish in the Bahamas. But here in the Caribbean, Greg has one goal. A catch-and-release angler, Greg wants to land a titanic tarpon on a fly.
The challenge that the tarpon brings, not only the initial hookup, which is by far the most exciting, but to get a fish over 100 pounds into the boat with a fly line is, I think, just an achievement.
Greg's fearsome flying adversary? Meet the tarpon. In the choice of fight or flight, these aerial whoppers take flight to new heights. To avoid predator attacks, these acrobats cut through the sky like stealth bombers, landing where their opponents least expect them.
If you have a predator which is in the water, probably the safest place to be is out of the water. So the ability to jump out of the water, to move to some other location that maybe the predator can't see where you're going, is a real advantage.
Nicknamed the Silver King for their shimmering scales, tarpon grow massive, over 2 meters long and nearly 140 kilos. And when it comes to flying, tarpon can soar up to 3 meters out of the water. These leaping beasts have an air-breathing advantage. Like the intake on a jet engine, a modified swim bladder draws in outside air, allowing tarpon to keep breathing and hunting in shallow, low-oxygen environments where other fish die.
There's actually a tiny duct that connects the swim bladder to the gut. Now that's a real advantage for the tarpon, because what it means is it could also potentially use that swim bladder as sort of a lung and get extra oxygen.
And one thing's certain, for any angler who dares to battle these flying fish in the flesh, hooked tarpon fight back in a leaping, epic fight to the finish.
Oh my God, I got that, dude.
Here in Puerto Real Bay, Greg teams up with local tarpon guide Francisco Pochi Rosario.
Hey, Senor Pochi, how you doing, Greg? Mi amigo, how are you?
So renowned, he's nicknamed the Tarpon Hombre.
Catching a big tarpon on a fly is like a holy grail for the fly fishing angler. What you try to do all your life.
Speeding out, Pochi heads toward a nearby tarpon hangout. As his guide anchors the boat, Greg warms up with a few casts.
Hopefully we can catch a big one, a couple of them.
I'm a lucky fisherman. I guarantee we're gonna hook some tarpon.
Oh, tarpon right behind the boat. Right behind the boat, right behind the boat.
How far?
Big fish.
Suddenly, Pochi spots a group of tarpon. He calls out to Greg.
Right side, right there, about 75 feet.
Greg focuses hard.
There we go.
Casts his fly. And misses.
Let me go back again.
Quickly reeling in, Greg repositions and casts again. In a burst, the fish leaps from the water and snatches the fly. It's huge.
When he came out of the water the first time, it's when we realized this is a very, very big fish. Then the anxiety starts kicking in, can I hold on to this thing?
Oh, yeah, he's strong. Yeah, man. I saw the fish and I said, Greg, oh, Greg, you have a lifetime fish.
Greg widens his stance and braces himself, waiting for the tarpon to take flight once again.
Can't get over how strong he is, man. He has just got me doubled over here.
In a rush, the fish jumps and thrashes, flashing its signature silver scales. Greg knows the battle's just begun. Trying to shake free, the fish jumps again and again. Each leap seems higher than the last, and Greg is struggling just to stay in the fight.
When a tarpon jumps, they call it bowing to the king. You need to bow your body and your line and keep it low to the water so he can't spit the fly out.
The tug of war rages for a back-breaking 2 hours. Exhausted, Greg's whole body's sore, but he refuses to quit.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Then, the fish shows the first sign of fatigue, surfacing for air.
When they come up to the surface, you have a sense of relief that things are getting closer and we might be able to get this fish into the boat here soon.
But it's not over yet. Refusing to give up, the beast dives back down. Greg's amazed by the tarpon's tenacity, but he's just as determined. He gathers his strength and gives a forceful pull. In an instant, the fish appears next to the boat.
Okay, Greg, the fish.
Greg's got it.
Okay, I got him right here.
Okay, got him. Okay.
Leaning down, the angler can't believe his eyes.
I got it.
The one thing I noticed right away when we got the fish close to the boat was the enormous size of his head and the size of his eyes. It was just incredible. I just was in awe.
Give me the leader.
Time is critical. Greg and fishing guide Pochi Rosario want to measure the fish before releasing the animal alive.
Okay, I got it out. You can just feel the strength of this fish. Even after a 2-hour and 20-minute fight, the fish, just picking him up, is just nothing but muscle.
Grabbing hold of the beast, with a massive heave, the two anglers manage to land it. At last, the monster tarpon's in the boat. At more than 2 meters long, 1 meter around, and an estimated 100 kilos, the whopper's nearly bigger than both Pochi and Greg.
It was unbelievable. Hold it and take the photo and everything that, take the measure and everything.
We've had a thrill of a lifetime with this fish, and now we want to make sure that we release it alive.
To protect species survival, Puerto Rican regulations stipulate all anglers must release tarpon back where they came from. Greg carefully lowers the fish into the water and holds it while Pochi gets the boat cruising. Running water through the gills delivers reviving oxygen. Finally, with a push, the titanic tarpon swims off. For Greg, it's a fly fishing catch and release of a career.
Woohoo! My friend, that was awesome!
In another flying fish lair, combine aeronautics with aggression, and you have these fearsome and ferocious killers. Apex predators who push their lethal leaps to the frightening limit. The last thing unlucky prey sees before death. The Mako shark.
As Mako sharks leap from the water, they're going to come out sort of almost like a missile. These animals may actually do flips as they're coming out. They may actually roll.
Stretching longer than 3 meters, weighing nearly half a ton. Thanks to a combination of brutal weaponry and blazing fast speed, Mako sharks reach petrifying proportions. Row upon row of razor-sharp, dagger-like teeth allow Makos to bite into big meals. But it's their sleek hydrodynamic shape and powerful propulsion system that lets them catch up to almost any kill.
Mako sharks patrol through the water until they encounter a fish, and then they'll just use their burst of speed to attack.
In and out of water, Mako bodies are built for the high-speed hunt. Tendons connect masses of oxygen-rich muscle tissue to a sickle-shaped tail fin. Rhythmic contractions work like pistons, generating powerful thrust to catapult Makos to high speed and high altitude.
You need all that force, all that thrust, in order to drive the animal through the surface of the water and up to the heights that it can attain.